Good morning, Bob Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show, News Radio 840 WHAS. Hello.
Hi, Bob. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
We had a house built back in 2000, and we found that the builder did not do some things like weep hose, lintels above the windows, and correct vapor barrier underneath. So what should we do about this? We're about to sell our home.
Okay, so a couple of things. Let's start, Brad, from your perspective, what would you suggest that Betty do?
Well, we see this all the time, unfortunately. A lot of the newer homes, particularly those with EIFS or stone veneers.
EIFS meaning stucco.
The stucco,
right.
Artificial stucco. We see a lot of those homes that weren't constructed correctly, and because of that, they're now experiencing a lot of water damage behind that type of material. So some of the things, even if you are living in a house, you can still be proactive. Even if you don't want to sell it, but you want to stay in that as your forever home, you may want to hire a home inspector to come out and check those materials, particularly the things that she's talking about here. I can imagine it may be that type of material. She could have significant damage behind there with moisture getting in there. Home inspectors are going to be able to point those things out. Now, you have to be certified in that process.
In EIFS,
So you do need to find an inspector who's certified in that process. HomeTeam is certified to do those inspections, yes.
All right. And I got to tell you, I visited a home a couple of weeks ago, and it was a beautiful home, and it was just gorgeous. And we were walking through, and I said, when you bought the home, they've been in there for a number of years, did you have a home inspection? And they said, oh, yeah, we did. The county sends out people to inspect all the time. Yeah. They bought it from a builder. I said, no, it's different when you hire an inspector. And unfortunately, the wife looked at me like I was telling her some really painful information. Yes. I got the feeling she did not want to hear what I was telling her. But it's so important, if you're buying a home, if it's brand new or a resale, to have a licensed home inspector who is on your side there to look at the problems before you close, because they may find problems that you would never know, or even the county people wouldn't have seen, or the builder is not going to tell you about. And like, for example, I said, did you have a radon test before you closed on the house? No.
Yeah.
Did anybody tell you about having a radon test? No. Did the builder? No. So I said, look, here's what you need to do. You may not have a 4 or above picocurie rating, but plan on it and save that money or keep that in your budget for a buyer's request, because that could happen. So now let's move from the inspection side to the legal side on this, Chuck. So we've got a woman who finds out that certain things that were supposed to be done, and I don't remember how many years afterwards, but is there a limit? It's a 1-year deal?
Well, not just 1 year. There are different statutes of limitation depending on whether it's a contract. There's 5 years. There's all kinds of things. I'm betting, though, that there aren't any that go 17 years.
Right.
And it's from when you knew or should have known. So I'm betting something like that probably would have given some evidence of itself along the way. But if they had absolutely no idea, and now they're finding out, and the builder's still around, it might be worth a phone call. Say, hey, guy, what's going on? Look at the contract. Did it originally include that? I know some builders here in town who have run afoul of not doing that sort of thing, but when you go look at the contract, it doesn't say that they're going to do it. They did exactly what they said they were going to do.
And there's building practices as well. They were talking about weep holes, which is something that not all builders do when they're putting up.
Right. And what was the standard of care at the time it was done is something, because in my line of work, you can see the standard of care for certain things has exponentially increased over the years, and it's perhaps a product of technology and that sort of thing. But the things that it's still basically the same, but there are different things that have switched over the 29 years I've seen.
Well, an example is what Greg just put up, weep holes, because some builders put them in, some builders don't.
Some put rope in the weep holes.
Well, but that's to keep insects from going in.
Right, but not all do that.
And I have a friend who's a builder who says, why would I drill a perfectly good hole into a brick wall? So you get, anyway, we're out of time, but I figured.
Yeah, we see weep holes that have been filled with caulk.
Yeah, that's right. But then at least they know enough they could pull the caulk out. It's drilling the holes if they're not there and the buyer wants it. That's where the problem comes into play. All right.